Hello, everyone. My name is Izumi Kyle, and I'm a senior category manager within the PPM organization. I am honored to share with you the Arumi story in celebration of Mother's Day. Mothers impact us. Hello, everyone. My name is Izumi Kyle, and I'm a senior category manager within the PPM organization. I am honored to share with you the Arumi story in celebration of Mother's Day. Mothers impact us in so many ways. Mother is often the unacknowledged role model who shapes our beliefs, personalities, and journeys in life. Today, I would like to share with you how my mother shaped my journey in reconnecting me with my Japanese heritage and how she has been the guiding inspiration when designing and making meaningful jewelry, which I call Arumi. Arumi was born during the early months of the pandemic in 2020 in aisle 17 at Home Depot. My husband and I were picking up some materials for a deck project when I stumbled across aluminum fasteners hanging on a wall and bolts of cable wire just below them. I was instantly attracted to the fasteners' silvery white luster and their different shapes and sizes. I threw a few packages and 3 feet of cable wire in our cart while thinking, I'm going to try to make a necklace with these industrial materials. Sure enough, that night, using rusted metal cutters and very unsophisticated crimping methodology, I created my first necklace. It was archaic looking with random jumbled patterns, but nonetheless, I was excited and took the photo of it you see in the bottom right. That same week, I went back to Home Depot, not for more deck materials, but for more fasteners, cable wire, proper wire cutter, and a proper crimping tool. I couldn't wait to try and make more necklaces. I decided to name my creations Arumi, not only for its dual Japanese meanings, but also because it has the same letters as my mother's maiden name, Miura. My mother, Yoko, was a vibrant, cultured, and strong-willed woman from Tokyo who was well ahead of her times. She left Japan in her early 20s at a time when foreign travel, let alone as a single woman, was quite remarkable. She was on the Japanese synchronized swimming team and went to America to swim. Fate would have it that in Boston, she would meet my father, who was attending Harvard University. For him, it was love at first sight, and the rest is history. Growing up, my mother was undeniably the rock of our family. She taught us 4 girls about Japanese language, food, and traditions. In late summer 2020, my 3 sisters and I found out the devastating news that my mother had terminal cancer. Naturally, we were devastated, but despite the pandemic complications, we came together as a family and took turns to care for her during her remaining days. With a full-time job, a family, and having to care for my mother, I was mentally and physically exhausted during the weekdays. Weekends, however, were my sanctuary. My kitchen converted into a temporary pop-up studio, and with boundless energy I didn't even think I had, I worked tirelessly on Arumi creations. It was no doubt a well-needed distraction and escape from reality and despair. I wanted to make an Arumi creation for my mother and in her honor. She loved flowers and was a passionate gardener, so I had an idea to create a necklace that symbolized a flower and motherhood. There bloomed Hana, a piece where fasteners mimic flowing petals and a sterling silver link in the center represents the pistil or seed-bearing part of a plant. It was the first Arumi piece where I made the connection between meaning and form. I showed it to my mother, and from her bedside, she smiled with approval. After a courageous battle with cancer, my mother passed away in November 2020. After her death, I was flooded with memories of her, my childhood, and Japan, a place where I briefly called home as a child. I reconnected with my Japaneseness, something I was at times ashamed of and denied growing up in suburban Toronto. My mother always wanted us to be proud of our Japanese heritage. After all, she had taught us so much about its culture. And so after her passing, I started to create Arumi Japanese-inspired jewelry with underlying meanings and ideas inspired and learned from my mother. The kiku, or chrysanthemum, is the national flower of Japan. It's a flower of great significance and symbolism, depending on the color of the flower's petals. Red petals represent love and devotion. Golden or yellow petals represent nobility, while pink petals represent longevity. In Japanese artwork, kiku is drawn with 32 petals around a central disc, which is the same number of stainless steel links used in this Arumi kiku ring and each flower in this Arumi kiku bracelet. The koi, or carp, is a revered fish in Japan. Known for its fighting spirit, resilience, and strength, they can battle and swim against the most challenging of currents. In Japan, on May 5th, every year, celebrate Kodomo no Hi, or Children's Day. On this day, households fly koi nobori, or brightly colored koi flags, to celebrate family unity, respect, and appreciation for children and family members. To this day, I have fond memories of seeing koi nobori flying high above houses and participating in the many Children's Day festivities in Japan. Origami, or the art of folding paper, is something that children in Japan learn at a very young age. My sisters and I were no exceptions. My mother taught us its basic principles before I could even ride a bike. She was a perfectionist, so I vividly remember her getting frustrated with us if we didn't fold our paper perfectly lined up and straight. Since an early age, she instilled in us the importance of discipline, precision, and dedication in anything we do or make, whether it be food, art, or school projects. Her teachings and expectations had a profound impact on me and how I tackle, make, and complete things I do today. Leveraging the concept of origami, I made Arumi creations called hoshi, or stars in Japanese. Using stainless steel cable for a series of folded 5-point stars, which honor the hidden stars of the world. People who selflessly help others, just like our mothers. The folded stars aren't obvious or apparent at first, but just like the hidden stars of the world, you will uncover many stars, if only you look a little closer and from a different perspective. In Japanese verbal and social culture, there's the concept of honne and tatemae. Honne refers to one's true feelings, opinions, and desires, while tatemae is one's facaded opinion. In other words, the socially accepted and appropriate opinion. Japanese culture has contrasting dynamics between things concealed and things revealed. One can even find examples in Japanese architecture. The shoji is a sliding screen, which not only divides space, but also acts to conceal or reveal something hidden like a beautiful garden in the backyard. Leveraging this concept and Morse code patterns, I created Arumi shoji necklaces and Arumi shoji bangles. Concealed is that Morse code pattern rules determine the design of shoji pieces. And revealed is that when the patterns are decoded, they spell a meaningful word or name. Some examples of shoji pieces include a necklace I made for my friend Christine, who unbeknownst to many had a Japanese middle name, Etsuko. And there's the bangle set I wear that spells live, love, and laugh. Words of wisdom that I'd like to live by every day. The enso, or circle form, is an iconic symbol that represents the circle of life. It's often drawn with one continuous stroke, allowing the mind to be free so that the body can create. The bottom left piece is the Arumi multi-enso. Its center bead symbolizes one's inner self, intertwined by a double-looped enso, which represents family. There's also a separate and independent outer enso, which represents all others who support and surround one's life. The top right double enso piece has two enso, different in shape and color, yet connected to each other. This reflects the spirit of harmony, but also the uniqueness of each partner within any given relationship. My mother was a spiritual and brave woman. She was unafraid of death. She accepted it as a part of the circle of life. I admire her strength and courage, and I'm deeply grateful for her eternal love, but most of all, for enlightening the life. There is no influence so powerful as that of the mother. So here's to all the mothers around the world. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you very much.